Hello language learners. Welcome back to our channel, Vocab and Phrases, where learning English is fun and easy. I'm Emily.
And I'm Alfie. We are launching a new vocabulary series right here on the channel. In each episode, we'll explore a brand new word or phrase that will make your English sound more natural and fluent. Whether you're a beginner or want to brush up on your speaking skills, this series will help you expand your vocabulary, use words correctly, and sound more confident in every conversation.
We would love for you to be a part of this series. Comment below with any words you've been struggling to learn or any topics you want me to cover. We will try to cover it in coming videos. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and notification bell so that you never miss new episodes. So, let's dive in and make English simple together.
So, today in this podcast we will learn 5 new words and also learn how to use them in sentences.
Great, so what are the words of the day, Alfie?
So the first word is clumsy, then we will continue with pompous, and gloom. Then collusion, and the last one is outraged.
Great, so let's start with the first word, clumsy.
Clumsy refers to a person or action that is awkward or lacking in grace, especially in physical movements. It can describe someone who tends to trip, drop things, or make mistakes because they are not very coordinated or careful. It can also refer to actions that are done in a way that seems unskillful or inelegant. For example, she was so clumsy that she knocked over the vase while trying to clean the table. Emily, can you explain this example?
Sure, in this example, the term clumsy describes the person's lack of coordination or grace. It suggests that she was not careful in her movements and, as a result, accidentally knocked over the vase while attempting a simple task, like cleaning the table. The word clumsy emphasizes that the action was unintentional and due to her awkwardness or inability to handle the situation smoothly.
Correct. Can you give us another example?
Sure, here is my example. His clumsy attempt to fix the car engine made it worse, and now it's not starting at all. Can you describe this example, Alfie?
Why not? In this example, the word clumsy refers to the person's lack of skill or expertise in attempting to repair the car engine. The action of trying to fix the engine is described as uncoordinated and inept, implying that he wasn't careful or knowledgeable enough to properly solve the issue. As a result, his clumsy approach made the problem worse, leading to the car not starting at all. The use of clumsy highlights the failure caused by a lack of finesse or competence in handling the task.
Well said. Let's move on to our next word, pompous.
Yeah, pompous describes someone who is overly self-important or pretentious. It refers to a person who behaves in a way that is grand, showy, or arrogant, often with the intention of appearing more important or impressive than they really are. For example, his pompous speech made everyone feel uncomfortable, as if he was trying to show off his knowledge. Emily, please explain this example.
Sure, in this example, the word pompous describes the way the person spoke. His speech was overly grand or self-important. The tone and manner in which he spoke gave the impression that he was trying to make himself seem more knowledgeable or impressive than he really was. This attitude caused discomfort among the listeners because it came across as arrogant or pretentious. The use of pompous suggests that instead of speaking in a genuine or humble way, the person was putting on an inflated sense of importance, which made others feel uneasy.
Correct. Can you give us another example?
Sure. Here is my example. She had a pompous attitude, always acting like she knew more than anyone else. Can you describe it, Alfie?
Sure. In this example, the word pompous is used to describe the person's overall behavior or attitude. It suggests that she constantly carried herself in a way that was arrogant or self-important, often acting as if she were superior to others. The phrase, acting like she knew more than anyone else, emphasizes her tendency to present herself as an expert or as someone with more knowledge, even if that might not be the case. The word pompous, in this context, implies that her attitude was not just confident, but exaggerated and self-serving, likely making others feel inferior or uncomfortable in her presence. Her behavior comes across as pretentious and overbearing.
Correct. Let's move on to our next word, gloom.
Yes. The word gloom refers to a state of darkness, sadness, or depression. It can describe both physical darkness, like when there is little light, or an emotional state of being downhearted or bleak. For example, the room was filled with gloom, as the curtains were drawn and the lights were off. Emily, can you brief this example?
Yeah. In this example, the word gloom is used to describe the physical atmosphere of the room. The absence of light, with the curtains drawn and the lights turned off, creates a dark, depressing environment. This lack of brightness gives the room a sense of sadness or foreboding, making it feel heavy or somber. The word gloom in this context conveys an atmosphere that is not just dark, but also emotionally dull or melancholic, adding a sense of discomfort or sadness to the room's appearance.
Correct. Can you give us another example?
Sure, here is my example. After hearing the bad news, a sense of gloom settled over the group. Alfie, can you describe this example in short?
Sure. In this example, the word gloom is used to describe the emotional atmosphere among the group. After receiving bad news, the mood of the group becomes heavy, sad, or discouraged. Gloom here refers to a feeling of sadness or despair that affects everyone, making the situation feel more depressing. It's as though the bad news created an emotional weight that lingered over the group, influencing their mood and making the environment feel somber or hopeless. The word emphasizes the negative emotional impact on the group's overall state of mind.
Well said, Alfie. Gloom refers to a feeling or atmosphere of unhappiness, darkness, or discouragement. Let's move on to our next word. Collusion.
Yes. Collusion refers to a secret or illegal agreement between two or more parties, usually with the intent to deceive, cheat, or manipulate a situation for their benefit. This term is often used in the context of business, law, or politics, where individuals or organizations work together secretly to accomplish something that is dishonest or unfair. For example, the company was accused of collusion with its competitors to fix prices and drive up profits unfairly. Emily, can you explain it?
In this example, the term collusion refers to a secretive and illegal agreement between the company and its competitors. The company and its competitors are working together behind the scenes, without public knowledge, to manipulate prices in their favor. This dishonest cooperation allows them to raise prices, which harms consumers and creates an unfair business environment. The goal of the collusion is to increase profits at the expense of competition and fairness, making it both unethical and illegal. The use of collusion highlights the covert nature of their actions and the harmful impact on others.
Correct. Can you give us another example?
Sure, here is my example. The two political parties were suspected of collusion to undermine the election results. Can you describe it, Alfie?
In this example, the term collusion refers to a secretive, unethical, and possibly illegal agreement between two political parties. They are believed to be working together behind the scenes, possibly manipulating or influencing the election results for their own advantage. The purpose of their collusion is to disrupt the fairness of the election process, likely for political gain, at the expense of the voters' trust and the integrity of the election. The word collusion here emphasizes that their actions are hidden from the public and are intended to deceive or manipulate the political system.
Right, let's move on to our last word. Outraged.
The word outraged refers to a strong feeling of anger, shock, or indignation, usually in response to something perceived as unfair, immoral, or wrong. It describes a reaction to an event, action, or situation that causes deep upset or offense. For example, she was outraged when she found out her coworker had taken credit for her work. Emily, please describe it.
In this example, the word outraged describes the intense anger and upset the woman felt upon discovering that her coworker had claimed credit for something she had done. The situation is unjust because the coworker is benefiting from her hard work without giving her proper recognition. The word outraged emphasizes her strong emotional reaction to this unfair act, highlighting how deeply the betrayal affected her. It suggests that the woman felt not just disappointed but furious and offended by the coworker's actions.
Correct. can you give us another example?
Of course, here is my example. The community was outraged by the decision to close the local hospital. Alfie, please describe it.
Sure. In this example, the word outraged describes the intense anger and frustration that the community felt after learning about the closure. The decision to close the hospital likely caused a sense of injustice, as it would directly affect the health and well-being of local residents, making healthcare less accessible. The community's outrage indicates that they felt this decision was unfair or harmful to them, triggering a strong emotional response. The use of outraged emphasizes how deeply the community was affected by the situation, likely leading to protests or public outcry in response to the perceived wrong.
Correct. Outraged conveys a sense of intense emotional anger or disbelief in response to something unjust or offensive.
That's all for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to join us next time for more. Until then, stay safe and take care. Have a good day.